the two biggest names in the business, head-to-head.
Great rivalries of all time. It's Ali and Frazier. It's the Lakers and the Celtics.
I brought out the best in The Rock, and he brought out the best in me.
The Rock brings out the best in Stone Cold. Stone Cold brings out the absolute best in The Rock. And that'll be forever.
The WrestleMania main event, The Rock and Austin, face to face. Look at their eyes, feel the tension. This time I'ma let it all come out. This time I'ma stand up and shout. I'ma do things my way. My way, my way, my way. This time I'ma let it all come out.
All-time indoor attendance record there in Astrodome.
Attendance records, set a pay-per-view buy rate record.
We're fighting for the exact same thing, and that was the #1 top spot in the company at a time when the company was changing the way the game was played.
I started to ascend as a babyface, and as I started to ascend as a babyface, well, over here you have another babyface in Austin. Right. We all felt collectively that a turn was necessary. You have these two babyfaces who aren't going to touch each other. Well, you know, there's such a special chemistry and a unquestionable magic between The Rock Austin. Let's turn Rock heel. We decided to turn the character heel in Survivor Series, bringing the rivalry of Rock Austin to another level. Right. And of course, after that turn happened, the very next night in Lexington, it was an unbelievable feeling. Rock came out as the corporate champion. Right. And Austin came out. I'll never ever forget it, live in Lexington. And I think we set a record that night. We did an 8-something rating.
You took that guy's place to some extent, Stone Cold. I mean, he still sits on top, and he's still, you know, a mega star. You had your own pay-per-view, rock bottom. He was jealous, wasn't he?
As far as for Steve being jealous and all as a shoot, no, he wasn't jealous. I'm going to tell you why. Because what happens is there's a certain, once you reach a certain level, you understand the business, you understand what it takes, you understand that, hey, well, this guy's here and he's got a certain look to him. I'm talking about myself. He's got a certain look to him, and he's creative, and he has a passion for what we all do. Once you reach that level, there are certain guys like that. Steve, for example, is like that. The Undertaker's like that. And a couple of other guys who realize, hey, this guy is going to help everyone. As I realized, Stone Cold, hey, the more success to him, it helps out everybody. The more success of The Rock, it helps out everybody. When Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock get together, there's a certain magic there that happens that it's undeniable. And in the ring, outside the ring, for entertainment purposes, and even without, it's just there's a chemical reaction.
The business is very competitive. As hot as I was getting, and he was kind of coming up right behind me, I was very keenly aware of where he was and what he was doing.
The Attitude Era officially entered its peak in a 24-hour period between November 15 to 16, 1998, with two of the hottest shows in wrestling television history seeing the November 16th Raw, a day after Survivor Series, with months of angles culminating with the coronation of Rock as the corporate champion, shattering every record in Monday Night War's history, with Rock's follow-up promo explanation on the corporation swerve followed by Austin coming out to set up the main event, Raw opening at record levels, setting up Rock's first title defense in the first ever Rock vs. Austin title match, with the main event almost 2 hours later in front of one of the hottest crowds in history saw the match jumping huge with over 2.2 million viewers to a record 7.3 rating with over 8 million viewers. The highest peak ever recorded in wrestling cable TV history, with the rabid atmosphere for the Austin vs. Rock match at the Rupp Arena symbolically resembling the company's direction, with the WWF now hotter than ever, all but cementing the match headlining WrestleMania 15 in March, leading to Austin and Rock largely being kept apart from that point on, with more major twists taking place off-screen than on it, with political maneuvering between all the top players in the company pushing for several directions in different camps, peaking on the February 15th Raw with the Austin vs. Rock WrestleMania headliner after a day of political chaos, with Russo and Michaels both pushing for it to be changed, with Foley added to the match, being officially set with Rock winning back the title to kick off the build-up heading into March 28th, justifying the decision in every aspect, with WrestleMania 15 after some all-time great television leading up to it breaking the record as the biggest pay-per-view in wrestling history with over 800,000 domestic buys. as with Rock turning heel in November '98 after catching fire as a babyface to go neck and neck with Austin for the top spot, specifically for them to headline WrestleMania in a traditional heel versus babyface match. Rock now practically getting massive babyface reactions on a nightly basis to rival Austin as a heel, including coming out today after the pay-per-view to the biggest pop of the night, forced the company to shift direction from the planned long-term Austin vs. Rock title feud, with the rematch being set up for Backlash just weeks later, building it up with some of the memorable segments in Raw history for what is said to be the final Rock-Austin match for the foreseeable future, with the long-term plan perhaps only set to see their next match at WrestleMania in April 2000.
Really about two athletes more similar than not. Two men blessed with charisma, youth, and an undying heart. Two supernovas burning brightest amidst an infinite galaxy of stars. Two men deserving what only one can have. Two men, both worthy sovereigns, in a world that can be ruled by only one.
I remember he had jokingly signed a picture to me. Stone Cold Steve Austin, #1.
I was #1. I believed I was #1.
I said, one day I gotta write #1. He said, you gotta earn that one. I said, I'm gonna earn it.
A lot of hearsay, a lot of rumors going around in terms of, Rock Austin almost coming to blows one night in California. Yeah. Yeah, that got blown away to proportion. Yeah, absolutely. No. I'm tight with Steve. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Speak often. And he's very secure within his position. He's smart enough to know that we got a guy in The Rock who can ascend to the plateaus I have ascended to. Right. And possibly pass them. And he's going to help me, along with a lot of other guys, make a lot of money. It's good business. There's a fine line between being entertaining and being a heel. I went out there and I was entertaining, and, from the time they started to say, if you smell what The Rock is cooking with me, I would immediately say, hey, this ain't sing along with The Rock. Right. Shut your mouth. And eventually got to the point where I knew I was turning babyface. It got to the point where, it was actually, even at WrestleMania, it wasn't 100% Austin. No, it wasn't Rock. No, it wasn't, yeah.
Along with the...
Don't get upset, Rock.
Rude. Well, go on and say it. If you smell is cooking.
Days before the Backlash pay-per-view, Rock in an AOL Internet interview all but confirmed his upcoming babyface turn, saying that he has done everything possible to remain a heel, but the audience seemed to already make up their mind, officially turning on April 26 with Austin and Rock now separated as the top two babyfaces, leading to the biggest conflict in the industry, turning from their TV feud to the legit competitive rivalry for the top spot, escalating behind the scenes, as with Rock's corporate champion turn delaying it by several months from November to April '99. The inevitable clash was now imminent, with Austin and Rock going head-to-head as two mega babyfaces in their prime, fighting for the bigger crowd reactions and larger share of every metric of business, as with Austin and Rock on good terms personally and professionally, but with the established top babyface Austin now unprecedentedly having a legit equal in the peak of his run. The first sign of tension came up on May 1st in an Anaheim house show headlined with Austin and Rock teaming up against Bossman and Hunter in a cage tag match, with a rumored report days following the show bringing up an alleged conflict happening during the match, with Rock and Austin playing to the sold-out crowd of over 15,000 at the Anaheim Pond for bigger individual reactions throughout in a one-upmanship battle reportedly overshadowing the match, leading to Rock squashing the rumors, saying that there was no issues on the show and both remained on good terms, with Jim Ross months later going as far as to publicly squash another rumor on a backstage altercation, noting Austin not even working the talked-about house show in South Carolina, looking to get another number out of the Austin vs. Rock combination on May 3rd, with Raw promoted to be headlined by their first babyface match to drive Raw to its most watched hour in history, with the promoted Rock-Austin match ending before it started with a wild brawl peaking at over 8.4 million viewers, continuing the peak momentum to May 10th, with Raw going unopposed, shattering every viewership record ever set for weekly wrestling television. drawing 9.2 million overall viewers with the Big Star Power 6-man tag of Rock, Austin and Vince against Taker, Shane and Hunter, peaking at a record-breaking 9.2 rating with over 10.4 million viewers.
He was trying to get the top. I was the top. And I was determined to stay on top.
Stone Cold drinks beer and he plays that gimmick to the hell. Want to give people the middle finger and cuss at them? Sure, that's fine. That's your gig, then you go on and do it. Stone Cold Steve Austin, just like a loaf of Wonder Bread, there's a shelf life there. The Rock, no shelf life. The Rock, his book, it has infinite chapters. It goes on and on forever.
The Rock comes along, and Austin's no longer Hulk Hogan and then everybody else. Now it's Austin and Rock and everybody else.
I think there might have been a touch of jealousy on Austin's part, but it never affected his professionalism at all.
Steve Austin, the rattlesnake. He's gonna take your little rattlesnake. He's gonna tie that little sumbitch up in a knot and stick him straight up your candy asses. Rock, you come out here singing your little nursery rhyme. You're gonna tie a rattlesnake in a knot. Say all that garbage to me because I don't think you can, because I think you're running scared.
Do you smell what Vince McMahon is cooking?
Do you smell what Stone Cold Steve Austin is cooking? Him and tying all that rattlesnake in a knot. Big Star Battle, let me warn you, it's a long, hard ride.
With both now getting equal merchandise spilling from the company, the summer of '99 saw what was just recently an unthinkable situation with Rock overtaking Austin as the top merchandise seller in the business, as while both wore still neck and neck Rock's merchandise were dominating the top sellers charts, with him starting in July often having multiple items in the top 10, and with Austin blowing off the McMahon program in the end of an air match at Fully Loaded along with dealing with a knee injury for the next month. Rock's momentum continued to take off at an accelerated pace, reflected in the highest-rated segments on television. The merchandise charts and reactions in the buildings started to separate himself as the top attraction in the industry, further cementing with the company's return to network television being named after him and SmackDown going on the air in late August, getting another stamp a month later by drawing the highest-rated quarter in Monday Night War's history with a 25-minute This Is Your Life segment gaining huge with over 2 million viewers to shatter the all-time record by almost a million viewers margin to a record 8.4 rating. And after being kept apart for the last 6 months with the real battle taking place behind the scenes, Raw on October 18th opened with the first tease to the planned WrestleMania 16 main event, with Rock and Austin finally going face-to-face to a massive reaction, as after being barely shown on the same screen since the week after Rock's turn in early May, the segment and the next month of television gave the first indication on where things currently stand with Rock as reflected in all business metrics in the past few months, now the hottest performer in the company, with the crowd after chanting for Rock during their first confrontation followed with constant Rocky chants throughout their main event tag match the next Monday, November 1st, with competitive tension already rising in the past 2 weeks saw both Rock and Austin cutting heated promos on each other during Raw, seeing Rock opening the broadcast at the MCI Center with a promo running down Austin and Hunter, stirring things up with Austin backstage in a preview of what is expected heading into WrestleMania 16. With Austin's name while being mentioned by Rock as a heel target alongside Triple H getting a mixed reaction from the crowd, followed with Rock saying that he's gonna tie the rattlesnake up in a knot to another big babyface ovation, reportedly escalating the competitive Austin-Rock dynamic, with a fired-up Austin responding over the next 2 hours, first to a much softer reaction when cutting a promo on Rock before continuing to go off on the rattlesnake in a knot line on commentary during the TV main event, setting the stage not only for the planned Rock vs. Austin WrestleMania rematch but for the Austin heel turn heading into the pay-per-view, with the original plan which was set to see Austin turning and winning back the title heading into the Royal Rumble in January and Rock winning the match to set him up getting his win back as the official passing of the torch as the top babyface at WrestleMania 2000, being delayed with Austin going out for neck surgery for the foreseeable future, putting not only the status of the Austin Rock WrestleMania main event but his entire career in question going forward.
The Rock's popularity has really risen.
Rock, Showtime talent. I have nothing but respect for that guy. I'd like to get in the damn ring with him and just knock the hell out of him because that's the kind of relationship me and The Rock have. Stone Cold Steve Austin, you and The Rock, we've been through it all. Do a toast and give you an all hell yeah and congratulations on a very successful neck surgery.
Or I'll talk to The Rock and he'll ask me something or have a few comments, or he just calls to check on me. That's the kind of guy he is.
Backlash. It was going to be Triple H with Vince in his corner, facing The Rock with Austin 360. Stone Cold was going to make a special appearance on The Rock show, SmackDown. Oh my God! And damn tease that Austin is here tonight.
With Austin sidelined for anywhere between 6 months to a year, with Rock continuing the company's peak run into 2000, Rock and Austin remained in constant contact, with them reportedly speaking regularly on the phone in recent months. With Austin's first public appearance following neck surgery was promoted for the second halftime Heat Super Bowl special on January 30th for an interview with JR in his house in Texas. Seeing the show, which featured the Austin interview updating on his neck condition in the second half of the 20-minute block, drawing over 6.6 million viewers, while not matching the 9 million viewers for The Rock vs. Mankind empty arena match the previous year, still drawing big in the second most watched segment in Heat history. With the WWF, despite losing an all-time game-changer in Austin, not only not slowing down but reaching new heights, with Rock leading the way to record numbers across the board on the road and on television, while at the same time individually going to the next level as a mainstream household name, with his SNL appearance drawing the highest rating of the season with over 20 million viewers. Following it up with WrestleMania 16 headlined with a 4-way elimination match replacing the originally planned Rock vs. Austin main event, with the same expected result, seeing the pay-per-view, which in both scenarios was scheduled to be built around the payoff of Rock's title chase, drawing the biggest pay-per-view in company history with over 850,000 buys. Writing Austin back 3 weeks later, with Linda McMahon announcing his return in Rock's corner for Backlash to close Raw's first hour on April 17th, driving the second half of the month after opening it already at record levels to heat up further heading into the Backlash pay-per-view, peaking in an unprecedented week between April 24th to May 1st, with Raw starting the final build to the event, recording the first full hour in history to enter the 10 million total viewers range, built around Rock and Vince McMahon's final selling promos to the event, along with the anticipation to Austin's return, with Vince, after being off television in the past week, arriving to the building to open Raw's record second hour for his first response promo on Rock and Austin teaming up in 6 days, recapping Austin and Rock's history to stir things up and turn them on each other, with the Vince promo hitting over 10.2 million viewers in the most watched full quarter hour in Raw history, followed with Rock's response promo and main event tag of Rock and Jericho vs. Triple H and Benoit, going 7 minutes into the overrun, peaking with over 10.7 million viewers, with peak momentum continuing to Thursday, with SmackDown built around a show-long angle of Rock guaranteeing Austin showing up tonight, picking up in every segment building into the final quarter, which saw Rock returning to the building to introduce Austin with the final hype promo for Backlash before blowing up the DX bus, driving SmackDown to set every record in show history, with the final Rock Austin McMahon's quarter closing at a peak of over 10.6 million viewers, closing the week 24 hours after the culmination of Rock's year-long title chase, with Austin's return in an all-time memorable spectacle for the final sequence, drawing the biggest pay-per-view in company history, with May 1st headlined with Rock's first title defense in a cage match against Shane, peaking at over 10.8 million viewers in the most watched match in cable TV history, and with the peak of the boom period continuing through the summer of 2000 with no signs of slowing down. Both Rock and Austin commented on the expected rematch, with Rock continuing his title run and Austin getting closer to full recovery heading into September.
I'm on the sidelines, and I was instrumental with The Rock getting to the level that he's at. Then again, also The Rock has that talent, and the World Wrestling Federation is the vehicle that pushes him. So a lot of people were responsible for him being where he's at, and I certainly don't take any of the credit other than the fact that I was one of his opponents. You can't live in the past. You're not going to sit there and go to a World Wrestling Federation match while The Rock and Triple H or The Undertaker's out there banging each other and just sit there with your arms crossed mope and say, man, I wish Stone Cold was here. You live in the present. I'm on the sidelines, but no, I'm not a jealous person. I'm happy with the things I've done, and I'm happy with the things they're doing.
Do you think, Steve, that you will return to the ring?
I don't know, that's the big question. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, and I kind of have good days and bad days, and now it seems like I'm having more good days. So I think it took me out of a lot of danger getting the bone spurs off my spinal cord. Now some of the symptoms are starting to go away, and I think that's a good sign for me.
Before Steve got ran over, I was already multi-time WWF champion, as you know. I could have done everything I've done here in the WWF with Steve Austin standing right by my side, or right in front of my face for that matter. Either way.
The bottom line is, The Rock didn't have a damn thing to do with running you over.
With Austin's full-time comeback officially advertised for the Unforgiven pay-per-view, with the return being built around Mick Foley's investigation on the reveal of the car driver from November '99. In a rare situation due to the unique circumstances, the Unforgiven event wasn't even the company's most hyped show of the week, with the September 25th Raw after an unprecedented media blitz from Viacom with cross-promotion between 5 networks airing commercials in all hours of the day. The first ever Raw out of the USA Network and the most mainstream publicized show in its history opened with Steve Austin making his return after 9 months, opening the TNN era in a segment with Foley, Angle and Benoit to introduce him back to the product around the cast of new characters debuting in his absence. Headlined with another high-profile Rock vs. Benoit title match to see the broadcast overall breaking all network records, drawing a 5.4 rating with over 7.1 million viewers in the most watched broadcast in TNN's 17-year history, and with the Foley-Austin angle continuing during the month, building to the reveal of the driver, including putting Rock in a unique situation as the top babyface with Foley, and several exchanges insinuating that Rock took out Austin due to having the most to gain from eliminating his closest contender to the top spot in the company, setting up the official reveal on October 9th, with Rikishi giving the reasoning behind it being him not wanting Rock to be held back like other major stars of the Samoan dynasty of the past, indirectly kicking off the build to the Austin vs. Rock WrestleMania 17 main event, with Rock, who in reality by that point in November '99 was already the leading drawing performer in the industry in every business metric for months and was scheduled to go over a heel Austin at WrestleMania 16 to win back the title, responding to the insinuation in a worked shoot interview with Jim Ross 3 days later, saying that he was already on top before Austin's injury and would have been in the same position with Austin alongside or in front of him for the past year, and with both Austin and Rock now back full-time on WWF television to gradually build the hype with 6 months left to the event. The end of October saw both going in opposite directions off it, with Rock after dropping the title to Kurt Angle on October 23, days after signing an all-time record contract for his first lead movie role in The Scorpion King, being taken off all house shows for the rest of the year, with JR confirming the news on October 27, saying that Rock, after working extra days for months between the full-time wrestling schedule and media appearances in addition to his now Hollywood commitments, is unlikely to work many non-televised events on the way to the start of the filming of The Scorpion King in April 2001, pretty much ending the days of him working a full-time wrestling road schedule, with Austin now set to be depended on to carry the load as the top promoted performer on the road for the foreseeable future, with the final tour of the month seeing Rock's final and Austin's first house show events of 2000, with them teaming up against Angle, Benoit and Rikishi in front of sold-out crowds in Toronto and Buffalo, combining for over 30,000 people, continuing with another 2000 milestone the next night on Raw, with Austin and Rock both working separate singles matches on the same show for the first time in almost a year, placed in a loaded-up second hour in Boston, opening with Austin vs. Rikishi in a cage match in his TV wrestling return, followed by Rock vs. Jericho in the main event, drawing the most watched full hour of the month with 7 million viewers, ending with another twist to the Austin car driver angle, with Rikishi turning on Rock, accusing him of planning the Austin attack, building up major interest for SmackDown on November 2nd. Built on Rock's response to the allegation, along with a Rock vs. Kurt Angle WWF title main event set up on Raw, opening with major intrigue for the follow-up for Rock-Austin upcoming confrontation, with Rock calling him out to the ring, seeing Austin and Rock going back and forth in another step, building up to their eventual WrestleMania main event, with Rock denying the claims to bring out Rikishi and Angle to further stir things up, ending with Austin laying out Rock with a stunner to close the segment at record levels, with the first Rock-Austin confrontation in a year opening SmackDown huge to hit over 8.2 million viewers already by 8:20 p.m. making the first half hour averaging 7.8 million viewers the biggest opening audience to watch SmackDown in show history, continuing the Austin Rock angle throughout the show with subtle hints, including Rock teasing a heel turn in a different demeanor for the rest of the night, headlining with Rock and Angle going 8 minutes in the main event, peaking at over 9.2 million viewers, with Rock having the match won until Rikishi's interference, followed by Austin running in to set up Rock, getting Austin back with a Rock bottom to close another near-record show averaging over the 8 million viewers range, as with the stage now set for a mega babyface match at WrestleMania 17, with both working tag matches over the next week of television. The company faced the never-seen-before situation in the history of the business of having two top babyfaces in their prime getting equal billing, to result in them being carefully booked, including subtle issues like named mentions and entrances, in order to not disrupt the hierarchy heading into 2001.
Here we go. The Rock and the Rattlesnake. Well, the Rattlesnake did have a Rock and Rattlesnake face to face. It's electric. Oh, here we go. Stone Cold and the Rock exchanging blows. Another Rock and Austin nose to nose. And here they go. Somebody will start it. Austin. Everyone is exhausted. They lost blood. They didn't matter. Austin and the Rock have locked eyes. Locked eyes. Oh my God. And it's going to be on right here. Oh, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Stone Cold is going to WrestleMania. The Rock is going to WrestleMania. And now we can start counting the days. WrestleMania 17. The Rock will defend the WWF title against Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Simply put, get ready.
After upping the intensity between SmackDown on November 2nd to the November 5th Raw with heated confrontations throughout, followed by officially ending the subtle tease of a Rock turn by revealing Hunter behind Rikishi as the car driver, Rock and Austin with both set to go into WrestleMania as babyfaces faced off several times to massive reactions over the next month, building up anticipation for the eventual clash with major buzz for their stare-downs in high-profile occasions, bumping up the crowd first in SmackDown's debut in Madison Square Garden, followed with them going back and forth in the next two pay-per-views during the six-man Hell in a Cell and final minutes of the Rumble match. And after being off in November and December, Rock returned to WWF house shows to start 2001, boosting business with two sold-out crowds combined, drawing over 30,000 people in Anaheim and Sacramento, headlined with tag matches of Rock and Taker vs. Rikishi and Kane, followed by a six-man tag the next night with Austin and Angle added to each side, with his road schedule set to be limited to major market events going forward, while preparing for his first lead role in the Scorpion King starting in 4 months, and after putting the final stamp on the match in the next two pay-per-views, with Austin winning the Rumble and Rock going over Angle to win back the WWF title at No Way Out, February 26, the day after the pay-per-view, with the stage now officially set for the most anticipated match of the WWF boom period, with Rock and Austin set for the years in the making WrestleMania 17 main event, kicking off Raw with them officially starting the build-up to the match in an iconic image set to be used all over the promotion and marketing campaign to the pay-per-view, targeted to break every record in history, driving Raw to its highest rated and most watched show of the month, with the Austin Rock segment opening with the biggest opposed quarter since November 2000, taking the hype to the next level on March 12th with Raw in front of over 15,000 from the Staples Center built around The Rock vs. Angle WWF title rematch, building it up over the 2 hours in a series of Austin, Rock and Angle segments heading into the match with Rock vs. Angle going 13 minutes in the main event, jumping over 900,000 viewers to peak at a 5.8 rating in the highest rated main event segment of the year so far and the most watched segment of the month, totaling over 7.4 million viewers, ending the show with Austin taking the first shot in the WrestleMania main event build-up to lay out Rock with a stunner 20 days to the match, opening next Monday in the follow-up of Rock taking 2 stunners in the past week of television to see him waiting for Austin's arrival to the building outside the Pepsi Arena, setting up a show-long angle building up the confrontation, including Rock running in midway through the first hour, calling him out, with Austin arriving at the New York airport at 10:40 p.m. just before the start of the Rock and Jericho vs. Angle Benoit and Regal main event, ending up in a chaotic brawl during the 8-minute overrun with Austin making his first appearance at 11:06 p.m. culminating with Rock eventually getting Austin back heading into the final week of build-up to the pay-per-view.
Man, you could cut the tension in that room with a knife, and it was real, and there was nothing scripted about it. I didn't know what The Rock was going to say. He didn't know what I was going to say, and we just responded off each other accordingly. It was a shoot, and then the thing about it is, with The Rock, he had great chemistry with a lot of other people, and so did I. But the two of us together were just very dynamic, very competitive. You go to that promo, that was real deal Holyfield, competitive aspect of professional wrestling. Wasn't no script. It was 2 cats in there who were in their prime, knew their place, knew what they were there to do, and that was sell tickets. That was a work, but we conducted it just like a goddamn shoot.
The WrestleMania main event right here tonight on SmackDown. Paul, The Rock and Austin, face to face. Look at their eyes. Feel the tension.
There was tension, but it was great tension. It was important to me that I was the one leading the pack.
On so many levels, a work, but super personal for him, super personal for me.
Without a doubt, this is the most eagerly anticipated main event in WrestleMania history.
WrestleMania coming up, WrestleMania X7. Rock and Stone Cold, of course, will go at
the championship in WrestleMania 17 in a pay-per-view match April 1st.
Stone Cold Steve Austin will go against The Rock in WrestleMania. Yeah. And these things are huge. I mean, the pay-per-view is huge.
Get ready.
With 6 more hours and 3 more TV shows to go in the build-up to WrestleMania 17, while in the background the news on the imminent sale of WCW was accelerating by the day. Besides the all-time memorable exchanges building up the match, another element emphasizing the significance of the pay-per-view main event, seeing the Rock-Austin match being hyped in weekly video packages to Limp Bizkit My Way, airing constantly on several networks leading up to every Raw and SmackDown on cable and network television, with March 22nd seeing Austin and Rock delivering on the hype of being promoted as the most anticipated match in history by producing another all-time great segment in a 10-minute sit-down interview with JR, going back and forth on the historical significance of the match to the company and their careers, heading into an historic night for the industry. 6 days to the pay-per-view, with McMahon buying WCW to announce the end of the Monday Night Wars, appearing on both competing networks, with the final ever Nitro broadcast seconds after the end of the McMahon simulcast promo on TNN and TNT combining for over 10.4 million viewers, symbolically going off the air with a WrestleMania promo for the WWF's 2 biggest stars of the Monday Night Wars boom period, heading into the highest profile match of their career against each other in 6 days, ending the night with Rock and Austin making their entrances already past 11 p.m. for a tag match against Kane and Taker to set up the Raw go-home angle for the WrestleMania 17 main event, with Rock giving Austin a stunner while standing over him with a beer in hand as the final image for what is targeted to be the biggest money event the business has ever seen, kicking off perhaps the most newsworthy week in its history following the official announcement of the WCW sale and WrestleMania coming up on Sunday, with SmackDown 72 hours following the unprecedented buzz on Monday, closing the pay-per-view build-up back at record levels. spiking big to over 8.1 million viewers for the full broadcast in the biggest overall TV audience of 2001. Outside the massive intrigue on the Vince and Shane WCW simulcast follow-up driven by the final build-up to the Austin Rock main event, with them shown arriving to the building throughout the first hour, followed with Austin opening SmackDown's second hour calling out Rock to the ring, reacting to taking a stunner on Monday, with Vince instead coming out to prevent them from risking the WrestleMania main event 3 days to the pay-per-view. Seeing Rock and Austin going face-to-face for the final hype segment to Sunday, ending in a big pull-apart brawl all the way to the locker room, with SmackDown after already opening huge from the first quarter with over 7 million viewers, spiking huge with over 2 million viewers for the Austin Rock confrontation to peak at over 9.7 million viewers in one of the most watched segments in show history, with massive momentum heading into WrestleMania 17.
Can you imagine the scene? 60,000 in the Astrodome to see The Rock and Stone Cold. This time I'ma let it all come out. This time I'ma stand up and shout. I'ma do things my way. It's my way.
Stone Cold, The Rock, WrestleMania.
This time I'ma let it all go. You never know, no, you never
The Rock, Stone Cold, WrestleMania, live this Sunday on pay-per-view.
The highest peak that it could be. I was super hot as a babyface. Rock was super hot as a babyface. Was just insanity.
To be in the arena and feel that vibe, feel that electricity. In the Houston Astrodome, we set attendance records, set a pay-per-view buy rate record, which, I'm very proud of.
The all-time indoor attendance record there in Astrodome, to do that kind of business and have that kind of match as I had with The Rock, it meant everything to me.
It was big time, so we followed up all of the promo stuff with a 5-star match.
Here we go. It's on.
I had gotten the feeling that I was feeling a little bit stale, and The Rock was doing so good as a good guy and a top guy. I figured this would be a premier time for Stone Cold to turn.
With The Rock vs. Austin main event matching unprecedented expectations in every aspect, from setting the all-time record pay-per-view buys to delivering a strong contender for the greatest match the industry has ever seen in the ring. Raw on April 2nd, with WrestleMania already considered an almost consensus contender for the greatest pay-per-view the company has ever produced, just 24 hours later, closed arguably the most newsworthy week the industry has ever seen, with perhaps more historically significant questions for the future of the business on the night than ever before. From the WWF now having complete monopoly on the industry, to the status of the WCW brand and the future of the top two names in the business, with both Rock and Austin at crossroads going in different directions on and off screen, with Austin following up on the original plan being established since October '99 that was set to see him turning heel in early 2000 before dropping the title to a babyface Rock at WrestleMania 16, turning heel to join Vince McMahon and end the original Stone Cold run, with Rock dropping the belt in his last appearance before being written off television to film his debut lead role in The Scorpion King for the next several months to end the original Rock run, with the future of him working a full-time schedule ever again in question going forward, opening the new era in the biggest way possible, with Rock confronting Vince McMahon to set up the Austin rematch later tonight, ending up with him booking it in a cage in a unique situation due to Rock's upcoming absence in the next 4 months, giving away the rematch of the biggest money match in history just 24 hours later to potentially pop a big number in one of the biggest matches ever booked on wrestling television, before building to an eventual major pay-per-view when Rock returns in the summer, opening Raw at record TNN levels, with the Rock McMahon segment already picking up to over 7.7 million viewers. with Vince McMahon returning to the ring at 9:57 p.m. and announced counter-programming to the Nitro main event, introducing Steve Austin to open Raw's second hour, gaining over 700,000 viewers to a 6.1 rating for Austin's heel turn follow-up promo in Raw's highest-rated quarter in over 2 months, with Austin, unlike the last two major heel turns of the era that ended up being game-changing for business in Hogan post-Bash at the Beach 96 and Rock post-Survivor Series 98, not giving the detailed promo explanation for the turn other than the subtle backstory throughout the build-up of him being unsure of himself winning the match against Rock and was willing to do whatever it takes, kicking off the full 10 to 11 p.m. hour, averaging over 7.5 million viewers, slightly above the second hour on January 22nd, to make it the most watched full hour in network history, with Rock in the final night of the original run of his career cutting his last promo for the next several months, emphasizing the background of the WrestleMania match, saying that he saw Austin panicking as the match went on last night before McMahon walked to the ring, followed by Austin and McMahon walking out together to complete the turn, with the Rock vs. Austin cage match going 10 minutes in the main event, with Rock dominating the majority of it to have the match won several times with the crowd after the angles and promo exchanges over the past 24 hours, fully pro Rock even being in Texas, gaining over 1.1 million viewers to a peak 6.4 rating, with over 8.3 million viewers to make it the most watched match in TNN history, ending with another major angle of Austin and Hunter joining forces to take out Rock and write him off television, with the 2-hour broadcast drawing a 5.7 rating overall, averaging over 7.4 million viewers, also breaking the record set on the day after the Rumble pay-per-view to make it the most watched program in the network's 18-year history, with the company now facing the challenge of not only filling the void left by losing the two biggest babyfaces of the generation in the span of 24 hours, but maintaining numbers with Rock off television for the first time since the peak viewership of the boom period was created, and Austin as a heel not having a ready-made opponent while going back to regularly scheduled programming after the past 2 weeks of blockbuster events and all-time game-changing news taking place on almost a daily basis.